going to be working the field pattern for the cardigan sweater here. I'm doing a small swatch to demonstrate the stitches. So I'm starting on row 1 and I'm going to work a few edge stitches here just to have a little break in between my stitches. So those are just 3 knit stitches. And now I'm going to begin working the pattern. And I'm going to be working this pattern over 4 stitches. So I'll have a 4-stitch repeat. So the first stitch is going to be a knit stitch. I am now going to make a grain, and I'm going to suggest doing a double yarn over in your grain rather than the single yarn over. It makes it a little bit easier to work later rounds of this pattern. So in order to make a grain, we're going to go into our next stitch and knit it, but leave that stitch still on the left needle. Here's the stitch I just made. Now I'm going to double yarn over on my right needle, and I'm going to go back into that stitch on the left needle and knit it again. So my grain stitch, here's my 1 stitch that I knit into, and I should have 4 loops on my right needle. Next, we're going to make a yarn over, and then we're going to make another grain. So I'm going to go into my stitch, knit it, but leave the stitch on my left needle, yarn over, double yarn over, and then go into that stitch again and knit it. Now I'll knit 1 stitch, and I'm going to place a marker for my stitch repeat. Let's repeat that again. Our first stitch is a knit. We're going to make a grain, so into our stitch, knit it, leave it on the left needle, double yarn over on the right needle, knit into the stitch on our left needle 1 more time. So you should have 4 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, coming out of 1 stitch. Next is a yarn over, and then make a grain. Into our stitch, knit it, double yarn over on the right needle, knit that stitch again. Last stitch in our repeat is a knit 1. Place a marker, knit, make a grain. Into your stitch, knit it, leave it on the left needle, double yarn over on the right needle, into that stitch on the left needle 1 more time, and now pull it off the needle. 4 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, coming out of 1 stitch. Yarn over, make a grain, knit. Place a marker for our stitch repeat. Knit the first stitch, make a grain, yarn over, make another grain, knit into the stitch, leave it on the left needle, double yarn over on the right needle, knit into that stitch again. There's our grain. Last stitch is a knit. Place the marker. Knit, make a grain, yarn over, make a grain, and knit. I'm going to place a marker for my last stitches, which will be my edge stitches here in my swatch. That is row 1. Row 2, because we're working the cardigan back and forth, we're going to flip over, work on the wrong side. I've got my 3 edge stitches. I'm going to knit those. Now I'm ready to start working round 2. So my first stitch will be a purl. I'm going to be slipping my grain stitch, my 4 loops here, purlwise with the yarn in front. Yarn is already in front, so just keep it there and slip your next stitches. So we've got a double yarn over here, so we're going to slip each stitch separately. Here's part of our grain, that's 1. Here's our double yarn over. You can see down here where it's connected, I'm going to go under that and slip that off my left needle to my right needle, and it's going to unfurl my double yarn over. And then I'm going to grab the last part of my grain stitch and slip it. So those 4 loops now become 3 because I unfurled the double yarn over. And it's a bit bigger now, a bit longer, that stitch. All right, now we're going to purl the yarn over that we have on our left needle here through the back loop. So I'm going to go into the back loop and purl that. I have another grain here of 4 loops that I need to slip. That's the first part. Second part, unfurl that double yarn over. Third part, 3 loops, making our grain. Our last stitch is a purl. I'm going to slip my marker and repeat that. So purl 1, slip my stitches, 1, 2, unfurl that double yarn over, 3, that's our grain. We've got this yarn over that we need to purl through the back loop. So come from the back loop and purl it. Slip our grain. Unfurl that double yarn over, and then the last stitch is a purl. Purl 1, slip, 1, 2, 3, purl through the back loop, slip, 1, 2, 3, and purl. Purl, slip, purl through the back loop, slip, and then purl. Purl, slip, 1, 2, 3, purl our yarn over through the back loop, slip, 1, 2, 3, and then purl. Got my 3 edge stitches here that I'm just going to knit. That was round 2.